Hey team, this is something that came up in a conversation with a client the other day, and they had an influx of money that they were coming into pretty soon, just with a bonus from work and I believe an inheritance. But they wanted to know, where should I put that lump sum of money, because they didn't want to just throw it in the stock market. They don't have any real estate deals currently that they can put their money into. Maybe they don't have enough capacity in one of their life insurance policies right now. So they wanted to know where to put the money. So, and I said, well, it depends. It depends on what your overall financial strategy, what your framework is that you use to make these types of decisions. And so, which led me to ask the question, do you even have that framework? And it kind of gets back to the fact that you have to have a set of core principles that you use to make decisions in life in general, when you're in the gray area, when things aren't black and white, and certainly in your financial strategy. You have to have core principles that you go by. And so a framework that I use to help make these decisions with where to put my money, where to, how to allocate my money across investments, so to speak. And even if, you're fans of infinite banking and you put all your money or you store your capital in the whole life insurance, well, that's not the end all be all. That's just a place to store your capital. What are you doing with that money? How are you leveraging that cash value to invest in other opportunities, investments, businesses, etc.? And so you have to have a framework to understand what to do. So this is a hypothetical. Okay, this is a hypothetical client, and so I want to show you the framework I use here with the asset tiers. Okay, so I break up my financial assets into tiers, and so I have goals for those tiers. Tier 1, your Tier 1 assets are your safe, non-volatile assets where you store your capital. It's guaranteed, it's non-volatile, your money's doing multiple things at once in some cases. If it's with the whole life insurance, it's liquid, you can leverage it, it's building equity, it's an asset, right? And it's there to deploy when you need it, it's safe. So it's Tier 1, it's at the foundation of your strategy. All right, next is Tier 2, also assets that build equity. Hopefully you have a lot of control here, and you can leverage that asset. You can get cash flow off of that asset. Think of this as your businesses that you own and control, and your real estate that you own and can control. You actually are the owner and in control of the real estate asset. So differentiated by Tier 3, when you go up to Tier 3, I like this still to be backed by assets, but this might be, you have a little less control. Maybe this is syndications where you're a limited partner and you're not in control of the real estate asset, or maybe you're lending money and the person you're lending to or the company you're lending to, you're relying on them to execute their business plan, to execute the flip or whatever they're doing with real estate. So a little less control, a little more risk, a little more rate of return. And then Tier 4 up here, this is where it's your play money, if you have any play money, right? So 0 to 5%. This is speculative. There's no guarantees. You could lose it all. And so this is Tier 4. And so then once you look at your overall financial strategy like that, then you can set some goals for yourself, all right? And so this will be different for you. It'll be different for every person. And your tier, some of the assets, some of the investments that you put in Tier 3, I might have in Tier 4. Or that I have in Tier 2, you might have that in Tier 3. And it's just because maybe there's a level of expertise there that you have that I don't with that asset, etc. But the key is I have percentage goals. So then when I get an influx of capital or some extra money coming in, I have a framework with which to make my decision on where to put that money. Now, the key is, if you believe like I do, I like to put funnel all my money through Tier 1 first and then leverage out of Tier 1, right? So in a case where I didn't have any more capacity, I would look to try to get some extra capacity in Tier 1 there. Certainly, at first, I'll just put it in the savings account until I figure it out, right? But ideally, then I have the time to filter that through that tier 1 asset, the whole life insurance cash values, if possible, in my case, and then leverage it to balance out my percentage goals across the asset tiers. Now, these aren't mine. This is a hypothetical that I just kind of put together the other day. But anyway, so got to have core principles for your financial strategy. Got to have core principles in life that you live by, right? And you have to have this decision framework in order to just help you make decisions like that when the time comes. All right, hopefully this was helpful. I wanted to share this with you after the conversation I had with a client the other day, and I hope you're having a great day. All right, see you, team.